Hey everybody, Edo here, and the good folks at Cheapass Games has sent along Stuff and Nonsense, which I've been playing, and I have to say, Stuff and Nonsense has probably one of the top three conceits, themes, fiction, whatever, of a game I've played. It is flippin' fantastic. You're an adventurer. Sort of. I mean, you're actually just these guys in London who are part of an adventure club, but just are too scared to actually go on an adventure. So what you're doing in this game is you're traveling around London to the pub, gift shop, cafe, newsstand, junk shop, and collecting artifacts and photos and little anecdotes to then go back to your adventure club and tell the tale of your adventure with all these fake props and convince people that you had actually did something incredible, when in fact you did nothing. And there's actually this Professor Elemental who's trying to capture you along the way and show that you didn't actually do it. So I don't know. I think it's great. That's great. And the writing in the cards, each piece, each item has its own little writing, and the writing by James Earnest is wicked funny as always. All of them make you smile, and they're cute, and the art's fabulous. So, just simple card game built into a board game that's just oozing with personality. Now, mechanics are pretty simple. Essentially what you're trying to do is you move one spot around the board, and you can sort of, it's like a wheel, and you can move out to the ring of locations or back into the center. And as you do, and you're on a location, you can move your one step, and if you want, you can collect a card. Each of these cards can then be applied to the different adventures. You can go to Africa, Mount Everest, China, South Pole, or the Amazon. There's this little icons over here that let you know if they can be used towards those locations, those adventures, and each adventure has a minimum. Africa's the easiest, just requiring 2 cards. The Amazon's the hardest, requiring 6. They all have to be different. They can't be from, you can't have 3 photos. You need to have 1 photo, 1 fact, 1 specimen. And then, you're going to get, they need to have a point value for that location. So you couldn't, talk about you get a specimen for a palm tree out of the South Pole, right? So there's, some nice fiction around how, some good thought went into how these things layer on each other. But essentially, as you pick these up into your hand, each player, they get replaced. And when they get replaced, you flip a card over and you're replaced to the correct location. So they move around the board. But as they get replaced, that oftentimes will move the professor around, and he can step on people, and then they drop cards or take a penalty. And so you're working and collecting your hand, and then when you're ready, and not from here, but from the table, so let me do it the right way, not to confuse anybody. So I'm walking around and collecting these, and they're getting refilled wherever they might go as I play, and we're taking turns, and I'm just building my hand, and we're all building our hands and dodging this guy. You can go to the market and trade a card trade one in for one on top. And, but you then tell this story, this tale of when you're ready in the Adventure Club for one of these locations. So let's say I was trying to do Africa. I'm a little short over here. I could hit Africa with these 2, requires 2. And I'll tell my story about the Lions Hunt at Night and Lester Moore, my hero. And then I would score Africa, and when I do, I add up the little points on the side of the card plus the bonus per the location. That location, the bonus gets smaller by turning the card, and then I roll the die, which is over here, and if I score another location comes up, it gets more valuable. And, if you were just to read the text on the cards, you'd get a good laugh out of everyone. I feel like in the instructions, it suggests that you sort of get into character and tell your story. I think you really have to in this game. The baseline mechanics are quite simple. There are some dynamics around trying to trip up somebody and get them knocked into the professor, or your hand management, but it's really pretty limited. I don't think there's much strategy or even really tactics in collecting your cards. I don't want to there's some, but the real payoff is the storytelling and the humor and the fun. And if you're just going to read the cards out loud and not get into it, I think it'll be funny the first time or the second time. I mean, you'll get through, you'll play it a few times and still have a good time, but then it'll start getting stale. But the times you play with people who really get into character and tell it and have fun with it, it's like fabulous and off the charts. So if you're really willing to roll into that theme, I think this game is fantastic. If you're looking for a mechanics type experience, I think you'll say, wow, this game sort of drags on and I'm just reading the cards and the way, it doesn't, I don't think there's enough there for that kind of player. But if you are somebody who thinks just the theme of it, the idea of that kind of humor is fun, and the card art is fantastic, the wit is fantastic, I've certainly enjoyed it. I like that kind of storytelling. So check it out, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. More importantly, play some great games. Thanks. Bye.